How does globalization affect the prevalence of sweatshops? Have you ever wondered how globalization impacts the working conditions of people around the world? One significant effect is the rise of sweatshops, where laborers often face harsh conditions. Globalization plays a key role in this issue by allowing companies to move their production to countries where labor is cheaper and regulations are less strict. This shift is largely driven by the need for businesses to cut costs and stay competitive in a global market. When companies outsource their manufacturing to developing nations, they often choose locations with low wages and minimal enforcement of labor laws. For instance, countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, China, and Mexico have become popular choices for many industries, especially fashion. The fast fashion model demands quick production and low prices, which leads companies to seek out factories that can meet these demands, often at the expense of workers' rights. In these factories, workers, many of whom are young women, may endure long hours, unsafe working environments, and pay that barely meets their basic needs. The lack of transparency in global supply chains makes it challenging to monitor these labor practices. Many multinational corporations use multiple subcontractors, which creates layers of separation and reduces accountability. This allows various labor abuses to continue unchecked. From an ethical standpoint, sweatshops raise serious concerns. They often violate fundamental human rights by putting workers in exploitative situations. This brings us to the moral debate between moral universalism and moral relativism. Moral universalism argues that certain rights and standards should apply to everyone, regardless of location. In contrast, moral relativism suggests that labor standards should be viewed within the context of local cultures and economies. However, the widespread suffering linked to sweatshops challenges any arguments that justify these conditions based solely on economic or cultural factors. The reality is that many workers are trapped in a cycle of exploitation, making it essential to advocate for better labor practices. Practical steps can be taken to address these issues. Supporting stronger international labor standards and pushing for greater corporate transparency are vital. Consumers can also play a role by being aware of the brands they support and advocating for fair trade practices. Empowering workers in developing countries is another crucial step toward improving their conditions. In summary, globalization significantly affects the prevalence of sweatshops by enabling companies to exploit cheaper labor in countries with weaker protections. The ethical implications of this practice raise important questions about human rights and the responsibilities of corporations. By promoting better labor standards and supporting fair practices, we can work towards a more equitable global economy.